you.
Don't you think the new guys are living lesser than the 90s guys?
Yes, and mashallah, I believe he's one of the best coaches when it comes to being aware of the athlete's health.
Yeah.
If we think of everything that has been changed since that era until now, it's probably only the amount of steroids.
Now, you've been training for 26 years almost. Like almost a silver jubilee crossed, right? What do you see the difference and what do you have your take on the people now they take anabolics and before they used to take anabolic? Because what I see is, I'm an old school guy. I love old school. And I see what the old school quality was there. We're still not able to make it in the new generation. Whether it's any of the top name, I don't want to defame anybody, but you can compare the guys from 90s at the Olympia and you compare anybody at this era at the Olympia. Not even single person is able to match the 90s, even the top 5 guys. Forget about the winner. So what do you think, what is the difference? Because you feel, now the people take more. Is that because of this?
I think it's the only reason that we can relate to, because this is for sure. This is something that I think most people can agree that people now take more gear than before. I think most people
that is
can
for
agree.
sure.
Okay,
that is
so
for
if
sure.
you think that this is the only variable that has been changed, I mean, more supplements, more blah blah blah. But let's be honest, what is the percentage that supplement can add to the outcome? 5%, 10%,
Supplements,
maybe
like
not
you
even.
take how many scoop? 1 scoop, 2 scoop of protein,
Exactly.
that's it.
So it's not going to make a major difference.
Yeah.
If we think of everything that has been changed since that era until now, it's probably only the amount of steroids.
So you think because of the amount of steroid, they are not able to achieve what they used to achieve in the less amount?
I think the amount of steroids make people so much more freaky, which, to be honest, to me, it's something I like. I don't mind. I think it created the new freaky bodybuilding to help the classic bodybuilding stands out. So I'm fine with both. But if you ask me what is the difference and what is it that made this freaky transformation, it's the only thing that I can say.
So taking more is worst actually.
It's see, if you
because you're not able to achieve the best.
You cannot achieve something that can be matched with the guys at the 90s. But if you consider the guys at the 90s are your criteria, then you can say it's not the best. If you believe that these guys are better, bigger is better. If bigger is better for you,
don't you think the new guys are living lesser than the 90s guys?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
I'm the guy who completely believe the 90s guys were the best. That is one of the reason I stick to George Farah. A lot of people offer me free coaching.
I know.
But I told them, a lot of people say, everybody knows that George is very mild in terms of PED. So I say, it's okay if I don't win the show. I want my child to grow with me, not with my medal. And if I'm not winning the show, it's my mistake, not George's mistake.
Correct.
But
I hear this from many athletes that have been working with George Farah, and mashallah, I believe he's one of the best coaches when it comes to being aware of the athlete's health. That is something I can 100% agree with, and I really appreciate about it.
He always tells there is life after bodybuilding.
Correct. That's a great point. Thank you. And like it's actually it's really sad if you see many pros who, as soon as they finish their career, it becomes kind of I don't want to say depressing, but it's very challenging.
You can say depressing because many of them are depressed.
It's very difficult, man. Like, I'm not going to talk about other people. I'm going to talk about myself. Okay. When I had the injury, 2018, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? Because at that time, everything I was doing is training, bodybuilding, and blah blah blah. Okay, I'm like, okay, where am I outside from this? I started looking for something else that I can find value in outside of what I was doing. You know. So subhanAllah, it's not a great environment to put yourself in. Yes, I understand dedication and I understand that you wanna prioritize bodybuilding, but not to the point where you feel that you are a bodybuilder and only bodybuilder, nothing outside of that.
So what did you change after your injury? Any specific thing you decided to change?
I started
that not put you in the depressing zone again?
Yeah, I started becoming a bit more aware of the healthy aspect, and not only when it comes to steroids, also when it comes to training. This is why we don't go crazy ways. We go a bit more on technique. Actually, after that is when I started focusing a bit
after
more
2018.
on the exactly.
And training till 1918. So after 20 years, started focusing on technique.
Yeah. To be honest,
like the
I was
real
more
technique.
careful about that. I always cared about technique, okay? But let's be honest. When you have no injury, there is always this ego that I want to lift more. I want to look like I want to move bigger weights on videos and YouTube and Instagram and here and there. But after I had the injury myself, I believe that I started focusing on trying to be somebody who promotes a healthy way of working out as much as possible, way more than what I used to do before 2018.
It's simple, like my coach says, there is life after bodybuilding.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
It is.
That's amazing.
And that's a great point.
Thank you for sharing your
this point,
experience.
yeah, man, of course. And this point alone is maybe something we can talk about one time, that there is life after bodybuilding.
For sure. Yeah. I would love to be on your podcast.
Yeah, man, I would.
It's like, I think this part of the video will go separate because it was very interesting.
It's very, very deep topic. So we should, I think, make it.
No, but you know what? When we started working out, you said something which hit me up, and I wanted to ask you about it. But since we're talking about it, so I would like to say that you said that this sport is very underrated, and people are not getting recognized, and of course, a lot of people are facing a financial issue.
Correct.
What could be the reason?
I think.
And how you think can change?
I think because this sport is associated with steroids directly, and I'm pretty sure that you're aware of that. There's so many other sports, they also use steroids.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Almost every sport.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they don't show. It's not tangible. It's not.
That's like small part of the sport. For the other sports,
other sports, they use steroids for performance.
Yeah.
We use steroids that helps our performance and helps our looks.
Right.
So because it's a sport that deal with the outlook, with the look of the athlete, it shows. And when it shows, people associate that look with steroids more than any other sport.
So you mean to say, like for an example, there's a footballer.
Okay.
He can still play football without taking a steroid and be the best player. But a bodybuilder cannot be a best player until he takes the steroids.
In a way, it's that. And even if he used steroids,
he will take very small.
Let's say he used let's say he used enough amount of steroids that will put him in a place where he want to be, regardless of what that amount is.
Yeah. Okay.
That means that if you don't test this player, you'll never find out.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look like he's using steroids.
Yeah.
And this is why people don't associate other sports with steroids. And because of this association, this sports, bodybuilding, never made it to be as public as any other sport.
So
generally speaking,
what do you think? How can the bodybuilder get benefit?
I don't think he will. To be honest, this is the sad truth. As long as steroids.
So you think bodybuilding cannot be a profession?
No, it is a profession, but I'm saying that it cannot reach to the same level of other sports as long as it's associated with steroids. Yes, because people have a bad perception of steroids.
But when you say it's a profession, that how people make money if it's a profession? Because I see a lot of people just losing money. In fact, I feel you can make your profession through bodybuilding.
Correct.
Become a fitness influencer, become a coach.
Doing what you do, but not from being a professional bodybuilder.
You cannot expect money from doing only bodybuilding.
That only at the very high level. At the very high level.
But now, since the sponsorships and all come up to the point, if you give the sales, then only you will get sponsorship.
That's
it used to be before when you're a pro, you're an Olympian, you are in the team. Correct. But now it doesn't matter if you're a pro or no. It's simple. You get money only to give the money.
Correct. And this is something to be honest, I blame some, not all, some athletes, because they have now promoted themselves as salespeople. You're not sales representative. You're an athlete. You help the company with exposure. You shouldn't be helping with sales. Yeah. It's not your job to do sales, And when people accept this concept of you have certain percentage on what I sell, well, now you're a salesperson without you knowing, you know?
So technically you're saying the athlete who should not add the use my code thing.
Even if they did, it should not be deducted from their income. Their income should be separate.
That income should not be dependent on the code uses.
Exactly. So the code maybe is something beneficial for the customers of the athlete so they can feel appreciated.
Yeah.
But not something that will eventually count to how much that athlete can make.
Right. Awesome, bro. Thank you so much.